Today, we're diving into a rebellion sparked not by guns and soldiers, but by tradition and outrage. And it has a name that sounds almost mythical: the War of the Palm Fronds. It all kicked off with a single, sharp question. A question that was part insult, part challenge, and, as it turned out, a full-on declaration of war. This one question is at the absolute heart of our story today. All right, so let's set the scene. We're in eastern Nigeria. The year is 1929. It's under British colonial rule, and the air is just thick with tension. The British had already shaken things up by taxing the men, which was bad enough. But now, a new rumor is starting to catch fire. And that rumor is spreading like wildfire through the markets. The colonial government is planning to tax women. Now, you have to understand, this wasn't just about money. This was seen as a profound violation, a line you just don't cross. To really get why this was so explosive, you've got to understand the role of women in Igbo society. I mean, they were the engine of the local economy, the absolute pillars of family and community life. So taxing them, it was like taxing the very source of life itself. It was considered a complete abomination. So who was enforcing these deeply unpopular policies? Well, it wasn't always the British officials directly. They appointed local men they called warrant chiefs. But these guys were often seen by their own communities as corrupt, as collaborators who were just helping an oppressive foreign power. Okay, so we've got all this tension just bubbling under the surface. Now let's see how that whisper of a new tax turned into an all-out rebellion. It really does all start with one woman, one question, and one incredible moment of defiance. So picture this. A census taker shows up at the home of a widow named Nwanyerua. He tells her, commands her to count her people and her livestock so they can be taxed. And she just looks him dead in the eye and hits him back with that killer question. Was your mother counted? The insult was just devastating, implying his own mother was no better than livestock. Well, he attacks her, she fights right back, and that single moment, that was the spark that lit the fuse. And what happens next is just incredible. The women don't reach for guns or modern weapons, no. Instead, they weaponize a powerful local tradition to go up against the biggest empire in the world. So Nwanyerua sounds the alarm, and the news just flies with breathtaking speed through the Makiri. These are the traditional women's councils that connected the whole region. Palm leaves, which were a clear symbol of war, get passed from village to village. And just like that, a movement is born. The main tactic they used is this fascinating practice called sitting on a man. This was their traditional method of protest. It wasn't about physical violence. It was about relentless psychological and social pressure until